Hello everyone, and welcome to today's professional development on the integration of literacy strategies. My name is Ashley, and I'm going to talk to you today about literacy and how we can implement changes in our classroom. So first we need to think about what is literacy. According to Merriam-Webster, being literate means being educated and cultured, having the ability to read and write, having knowledge or competence about a particular subject, such as digital literacy or cultural literacy or information literacy. Literature should be at the heart of our literacy programs. It provides an excellent context for deep thinking and personal response, inspires us and informs us, nurtures our imaginations, moves us to laughter, to tears, and to action. The role of the librarian is an important one in integrating literacy in our schools, because the librarian should develop a collection that meets the needs of teachers and students. They need to be aware of the curriculum and have the resources available for that. The librarian should also communicate library programs, services, and resources available to members of the school community, so that everyone knows what is available to them. The librarian should seek feedback from teachers and students for their needs and wants in the library, such as a suggestion box. The librarian should also provide a useful professional collection for teachers so that all of their curriculum needs are met. The librarian should create an inviting and welcoming environment for students that support reading for pleasure, because improving literacy is also connected to increased reading. And last but not least, the librarian should collaborate with teachers to develop literacy plans, because research shows that collaboration is one of the best ways to impact student achievement. So why should we use literature? Well, it contributes to literacy development. It facilitates language development. It encourages reading achievement. It improves student attitudes toward reading. It impacts writing ability, and it expands knowledge of written language. And the key responsibilities of teachers when teaching literature is to know children's literature, because you can't teach something that you're not familiar with, or it's more difficult. Teachers should also provide access to a wide variety of literature. They should allow time for reading and discussing literature. They should plan individual, small group, and whole group experiences with literature. They should pre-read selected literature to plan meaningful experiences. They should identify themes or appealing issues in the literature. They should establish a safe, accepting, and trusting atmosphere so that no one is afraid to share their opinions. And they should plan appropriate activities before, during, and after reading. When you're choosing reading activities, these are the questions that you should think about answering. First, will it promote discussion? Because discussion is a great way to build knowledge of literature and to increase our literacy skills. Second, will it activate or develop background knowledge? Will it prompt the use of comprehension strategies? Does it promote higher order thinking? Are the activities appropriate for a wide range of readers? And do they promote differentiated instruction? So as a teacher considering activities for pre-reading or during reading or after reading, these are the questions that you should think about. First, we're going to look at some pre-reading activities, and the purpose of these are to activate and build background knowledge, develop language, establish purpose of reading, promote personal responses, arouse curiosity, and improve motivation for reading. 5 tips for using pre-reading activities are to know your students, your purpose, and the literature, and select activities appropriate for them. You should also embrace the provided opportunities for collaboration and ensure equitable participation from everyone. You should welcome all responses. You should encourage elaboration on ideas and expansions of comments by others. And you should select as many activities as needed to achieve your goals, usually 1 or 2, so that students do not spend more time preparing to read than actually reading. The first pre-reading activity is the very popular anticipation guide, which is basically a list of statements with which students either agree or disagree. The statements are typically related to themes, issues, or concepts in the reading, and they're a great way to lead to discussion. You typically would want to require explanations for their selections, so they don't just check a box. And this is a great way to stimulate personal connections with text. And here is an example of an anticipation guide for Hamlet. Questionnaires are another pre-reading activity that's pretty common. They're similar to anticipation guides, and they require examination of a student's opinions, attitudes, values, or experiences with a variety of topics. Typically, those are related to themes or topics that students will encounter in the reading, and they can be either open-ended or in checklist format. Book boxes are another fun pre-reading activity where you would fill a box full of items related to the reading. The items are going to be clues for the content of the text, and students will identify those objects and make predictions about the reading based on what the objects are. And this is a great way to promote higher order thinking. And this box would be for Hamlet, a pre-reading book box. So you would have the flowers representing Ophelia's struggles prior to her death. You would have the skull, which is obviously Hamlet's famous soliloquy. You have the poison and the dagger and the letters, which are all very important elements of the story. Book bits are another pre-reading activity where you would take sentences or phrases from the text instead of objects and put those on small strips of paper and distribute those to students around the room. And then students would make notes about various categories, either characters, setting, or plot, and explain why they came to those conclusions based on the bits from the story that they read. Cover clues is where you examine the cover of a book and brainstorm ideas about different aspects about the cover and what they might mean. So some people are going to look at colors, shapes, and lines. Some people are going to look at people or animals. Some people are going to look at objects. Others will look at scenery, and others will look at font and style and size of lettering and determine what they think all of those things might mean just by looking at the cover. And then the students will discuss their predictions and inferences and the conclusions that they came to, as well as the reasons that they concluded them. Character quotes are where you prepare various quotes from the main characters of the reading, and those quotes should share various aspects of the character's personality. And then students are going to generate words that describe the character based on the quotes that they've read, and they will also explain their choices. Group discussions lead to deeper understanding of personality traits and characters in this activity. Contrast charts, or what I like to call T-charts, is where you identify theme-related contrasting categories. Students are going to list ideas under each one, and that could be similarities and differences, or pros and cons, and they basically consider the two sides of an issue, which promotes higher order thinking. This could be an individual, small group, or a whole class activity. KWL charts are also very popular. This is used when reading factual information. And first, the students are going to write what they know or what they think they know. And second, they're going to write what they want to know, so any questions they have or what they're curious about. And finally, in the third column, they're going to write what they learned from the reading. So this is an activity that travels through the reading process. It can be used before or after reading, or revisited throughout. And students are invited to correct any incorrect information that they thought they knew. So once they learn things that change what they thought, they definitely should correct that. And so this questioning promotes personal connections with the text. Semantic maps are using words. They're also known as clusters or semantic webs, and it's basically a graphic display of categorized information. The category terms are circled and lines are drawn to connect the categories to a central concept or idea, and this provides a visual display of concepts and the relationships among them. This facilitates discussion of relationships among ideas and information. So in the example on the top, you see transportation and various forms of transportation. And the bottom example has the White House in the middle and specific details about the White House in the circles on the outside. And the lines connecting them show the relationships between those terms. So a couple different ways that you could do this type of map. Preview, predict, confirm is another pre-reading activity where students will preview images or words from the text. They will make predictions about the text based on the previewed images or words with reasons for support. They will sort the images or words into meaning-based categories such as setting, people, actions, feelings, ideas, and such. And they will confirm or reject their predictions after reading. And here's a chart that you could use for this activity, or you could use Post-its or index cards. Concrete experiences are where you take students on an experience to engage them with objects, concepts, or events in the text, and it's basically a real-world interaction. This might include observations, investigations, or simulations, and these experiences build background knowledge, enhance comprehension, and students' motivation to read. Picture packets are basically packets of pictures that are related to the reading. And students are going to examine the pictures and discuss them, determine what they might reveal about the text. And you could also prepare them via PowerPoint or Keynote to show to the whole class at one time. Picture carousels are like a gallery walk around the room, and students are going to travel around with a guide or a handout that points out important elements or ask questions about the images, and the students are going to record notes about them as they go. But all of the pictures would be related to the text that you're getting ready to read. And quick writes are just short writing prompts that the teacher provides, and students write quickly about what they know and could also discuss personal experiences. And this is a great way to activate background knowledge and prompt personal connections to the text. Quick draws are the same idea. You just draw a quick sketch. And so pre-reading activities set the stage for personal responses to literature. They activate or build background knowledge, develop relevant language, prompt students to set purposes for reading, and motivate students to read. During reading activities are also very important because they deepen comprehension, promote personal responses, prompt the use of comprehension strategies, enhance awareness and use of text structures, focus attention on language, facilitate thinking about characters, events, themes, and big ideas, and foster collaborative development of interpretations. One reading activity that's very popular are literature circles, and this is where you develop a small group of students that read the same text, and they will meet regularly to discuss the text. Each member has a role that they're assigned, such as questioner, passage master, vocabulary enricher, and it's very useful for promoting student responses to literature. Students are able to take ownership of their reading, and they support each other in their observation and investigation of the text.